Okay, hi everybody. Okay, I decided to do a video because we're not going to see each other in class. So this is a video which is designed to just run through a couple of maybe one or two free response questions, just so we can see how we answer them, and that way we're just sort of covering ideal solutions. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot them through, or any questions you'd like me to cover, please let me know. I'm just going to start off with a simple one today, which is the, let me go to it. It's going to be the free response cookie order B, which I gave you to do earlier. So that's going to be kind of fun. We'll just step through that one now. And yeah, let me just kill the music here. All right. So this question is from the 2010 sample. Sorry, it was actually a free response from 2010 exam. It was question number 1. So you open the exam paper and there it was. Basically, it was tracking the organization like the Girl Scouts, which was selling cookies and selling boxes of cookies. Now, any cookie order had a class to define it, which had basically the variety of the cookie, the type of cookie it was, and how many boxes the order was. So this was a number and there was a string. Get variety, get number of boxes. So very simple. And it didn't give us any more details, implying that it wasn't really that important. Right, so it says here, there may be instance variables, constructors, methods that are not shown, so we don't have to worry about them really. What we do have to worry about is the next class, which was a master order. And this is a list, it's maintaining a list, an array list of all the orders that are in the system. So now we see we've got a class and we've got an array list of that class. Most likely what we're going to have to do is go through a list. Then we have, let's see, a constructor here, all right, to set up the orders. Okay, and we have add order, so it takes one order, puts it in the list. Doesn't look like it's sorted at all. And then we have a get total boxes, which will go and add up all of the boxes based on what we assume is the number of boxes here. So we'd be going through the list, get num boxes. Now, I just noticed that this won't actually be implemented in this question. In the exam, this was implemented. Like you have to write get total boxes, but this question is giving it to us. So we're already getting part A. It'll be down below. What it will ask us to do is write part B. So part B. Let's look. Actually, let's just go quickly and have a look at how you would write the code for, where is it? There it is. Let's just go look what the part A answer was, because that's kind of interesting. They've already written it for us here. Let's have a think. So there's a quick answer for you, but let's have a quick think about the code and how we'd solve it. The part A said get total boxes. So you would think the best way to do it would be a simple counter, right? Establish a counter. And let me bring up Notepad. And let's just, let's just write this in Notepad. And hopefully I can share this with you too. Right, very quickly. Share my desktop. Okay, so let's bring up that Notepad. You should be able to see this now. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to have a counter. I'm just going to comment this in here. Counter equals 0, start with 0. Then we're going to want to go through the list, right? So we probably want to use an enhanced for loop. We're not changing any data, and therefore an enhanced for loop would be something like for cookie order CO or C or whatever, and we're going to go through the orders, right? List of orders. We're going to use this and just add the total order, right? So for C dot get total boxes. Oh, sorry, not get total boxes. We're talking about an order, so let's go back here. The order is get num boxes. Okay, so we're going to add that to the counter. Counter plus equals C dot get num boxes. Okay, something like this. And then we're going to finish, after the for loop finishes, we're just going to return the counter. Something like that. So really something, a simple thing like that. So let me switch back to where. Okay, so here we are. Let's just check that that was what they sold it with. Okay, now hopefully I did the right thing. Did I do plus equals? Yes. Right. Plus equals. Yep. Get num boxes return counter. Okay, we've written this method quite a few times, so it should be no surprise to anybody about how we do that one. Okay, so the real reason why we're here is to solve part B, right, in this question. And this question is asking us to write a method called remove variety, which removes a special variety of cookie from the master order. And we have to match the variety, right? It'll send a parameter called cookie var to the method, and the master order may contain 0 or more cookie orders with the same variety as cookie var. So what we'll do is return the total number of boxes removed from the master order, right? So it may appear more than one time. For example, chocolate chip here appears once, right? Chocolate chip appears once, and it appears again 3 times. So we should expect that if we ran it with chocolate chip, that we would get the results 4, right? Because it removes 4, 1 plus 3. Okay, and then the master order would have this left. All right, now we are removing and we're counting, so it's doing 2 things: removing and counting. One thing we need to think about is if we're writing a for loop and we're removing stuff, we can't use this kind of for loop. We can't use an enhanced for loop, right? Because this is iterating through the list from start to finish. And let's say you have a list. Let's do it as positions, okay? So we have position 0, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have different things at different positions. Okay, so I have a D there, I have an A there, I have a C there, I have a... These are all varieties of cookies, by the way. Okay, and another C. So I have these cookies in my array, and I go through and I say, okay, I'm going to remove all of the C's. So I go here. No, no. Okay, I remove the C. Well, now they all move. So now I'm not checking this one anymore, right? Because I'm moving on to the third, but this remains unchecked. Now, as it happened, that was fine. But what if it's like this? Oops, redo. What if this is a C? Now I go through the list, check 0, check 1, check 2, remove. After 2 comes 3, check 3, check 4, remove. And what's happened? Because the list has moved and changed as we're iterating through it, we have a bit of a problem. So going from 0 to the end is a problem with this list. Okay, let's go back. Let's start instead from 5. Start at 5, start at the end of the list and go back. Okay, I found a C. Remove. Nothing happens to the rest of them. Let's go back. 4. Okay, we checked 4. D. Check 3. Okay, it's a C. So remove. What comes after 3? Well, we're going backwards, so 2. That's fine. Check 2. Remove. Now we check 1. Now we check 0. I didn't even mean it to equal dad. No relevance there. But as you see, going backwards through the list solves the problem of having a list being updated as we're moving and not catching sequential values. Now it is possible that we run our for loop like for I, or even we could use a while loop and get to the end, right? So while we establish a counter I equals 0, and then we say while I is less than our list dot size. Remember, it's an array list. We could do it like that, and then if we remove one, then we don't increment the I, right? We continue. We don't increment I, and then normally we would increment I, right? So if we do remove, if there's a removal, right? If the condition is met and we remove, then we continue without incrementing. Otherwise, we increment I. This will avoid it jumping ahead in the list. This is another way to do it, but for this exercise, I think it's much easier and much more simple to just use a for loop and start at the end. And as we go through here, our first task in this site is to reorder the blocks. So this is a solution, actually. Let's put the solution here. But what we're going to do is just put it in here. So let's just drag them in. Oh, start there. Okay. So let's see. Yep, we put a for loop here. Nice order, nice structure. Okay, we've got a 4, as you notice, right? 4 is starting at the end. This dot order size minus 1. Okay, so it's starting at the last place and then going to 0 and minusing each time. Okay, this order, so string, this order. Instead of each time grabbing it, it just puts it in a string, in a variable. Okay, so we say this. Okay, so no, this doesn't work here. We need an if statement. If the value, right? If the argument passed equals this order, get variety. Bit strange. This actually should be I think this is not quite correct, right? This order is actually an order, which is not a string. It's an order, cookie order. So actually, I think this should be cookie order. This order, right? And then we can use this order dot get variety. So it is a mistake in the text. But let's continue as though it's not a mistake. Okay, so number box removed, and then we end if. And we end the for, and we end the method. Oh, not yet. Let's return a value first, and put this in here. Return the value that we were planning to return. Right, number box removed. All right, check it. Good, nice. Okay, you want to just have a look at that. I'll leave it on the screen for a second. Right, So now we know the basic structure anyway. We can solve it pretty easily by writing, right? So once again, we'll do this method, right? And just, it's always helpful sometimes to, if you're typing it out, you can just write down the steps in comments. For example, for loop through from back from end to start, check if what do we call it, variety is same as parameter. If same, remove. Let's add to count and do a separate. There we go, like this. Remove from list. This is kind of the way that I structure my things when I'm trying to think through some problems. Sometimes it's easier just to comment it first and then just add the code later. Right. And remove from list. And then finally, the last thing we're going to do is return the count. So firstly, we should establish a count. So these are called orders, I think, right? Orders. They are. Oh, sorry, they're boxes. Boxes, yes. So they're boxes. Okay. So int boxes and start at 0. Let's get a for loop. So right, just put it there. Okay, for. Right. So for an int I equals this dot orders dot, double check, orders dot size. I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. Okay. Right. I'm going to put my close bracket here. And let's write this. Okay, so now we've got that. Actually, don't put the close bracket there. I'm going to put the close bracket down later after here. Okay, check if variety is the same as parameter. Alright, so it's a good idea to save the thing as a cookie order. Cookie order equals this dot orders. And right, I'm going to save the particular order, and then we're going to use that instead. All right, so if or dot get variety equals cookie var. Let's check my methods are correct. Get variety. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is using the order. Get variety. Okay. So or dot get variety. Yeah. Okay. And equals cookie var. Then I'm going to yes. All right, if same, put that in there already. Then we add it to the count, right? So we need to get the number. So we're going to boxes plus equals to ord.get. What is it? Get num boxes. Oopsie. Get num boxes. Yeah. So we add to the count. Probably should have left my comment up there. Right. And then we want to remove it from the list. Okay, so we're going to remove from the list. So we would go, let's see, taking orders. All right. So orders dot, this dot orders dot remove I. Okay, remove from the list. And the last thing we do, close our if. And the last thing we'll do is return the counts after we finish the for loop. So we return boxes. Right. Let's run and see. Teacher made a mistake. Oh no. It was a mistake. Cookie or this orders dot index. Oh, I've got a mistake. What have I done wrong? I used the wrong thing. What did I do? Huh? This dot order. Oh, get. So I'm using the wrong thing here. I'm trying to get an index. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, sorry. I'm using the wrong thing. So I'm getting. Okay, so for those of you who was shouting at the screen, tell me what the problem was. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Okay, so get now out of bounds. Oh, I've gone out of bounds. So where's my issue here? Okay. Okay, I went to size. Okay, again, you're probably shouting at me through the screen. I went to size instead of size minus 1. Okay, so there. 2 mistakes. Okay, and it works. All right. There we go. Okay, so important. I made the mistake. So check your boundaries. Good point. Should tell myself that. And obviously use the right methods. Okay, so that's the answer to that one. Okay. All right. Now next one, string formatter. All right. I can't remember if we've done this before or not, but what I might do is I'll do this in a separate video, and we can cover this in the next one.